Okay, good evening, everyone. It's so nice to see all of you here tonight. It's a privilege for us to have you here and to honor you on your accomplishments. We want to thank you. If you leave before our meeting's over, we want to wish you a happy holiday season, Merry Christmas and the New Year, and health and happiness to you and your families. So we're going to ask Danny to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. You, Danny.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of the Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amanda, will you call the roll?
Trustee Messick?
Here.
Trustee Rocco is absent. Trustee Sheehan?
Here.
Trustee Casera?
Here.
Trustee Lautner is absent. Trustee Zora?
Here.
President DeCipio?
Here.
Quorum is present, sir.
Thank you, Amanda. Okay, so now I get the privilege of introducing you. I'm going to introduce Mr. Kimberly first for a reason. I've known Danny a long time. He's made great accomplishment, and I hope that he's a mentor to you guys and to show you what you can do with hard work and sacrifice. And I hope that all of you that are on the cross-country team continue to strive for excellence and do the best that you can in your studies and especially in your athletics too. So I want to introduce Danny first because he has achieved the ultimate in cross-country in the state of Illinois. So Danny, would you please come up? And I'm sure to you young ladies, he doesn't need any introduction. He's handsome too, isn't he? Sorry. Okay, we'll go from there, okay? In recognition of his achievement of becoming only the second individual state cross-country champion, this LTHS senior won Class 3 State 3A State Cross-Country Championship on Saturday, November 4th, 2017. On December 2nd, 2017, Danny finished in the top 5 at the Nike Internationals. And just this past weekend, Danny finished third in the Foot Locker run. So, you know, these are major accomplishments. The last two were done on a national level, which says a lot for Danny's commitment to the sport and also to his parents for guiding him and supporting him throughout his endeavors. So, to Danny. So this is becoming a yearly thing with Danny. So it's a shame he's a senior because I'm not going to get to do this next year unless he comes back from Notre Dame, where he's going on a scholarship with a business intent and looking at business studies and also to Notre Dame. So I'm very proud of him. Hall of Fame. But this is Danny when he was on the suburban line when he won state. And again, on behalf of the board and the village of Grange Park, we're awful proud of what Danny's accomplishments as we are with you. And I think that it doesn't go recognized as it should. You guys have done a lot, and Danny's done a lot for all of my Township High School. And I don't think that the recognition is where it should be. So we're going to do our best to make it there. Danny, congratulations.
I just wanted to thank you all for having me for the third year. I really good mentor for me. He was my coach freshman year, and he really showed me the ropes of the sport and was really an encouraging coach. So I would thank him for a lot. And again, just thank you for having me.
And again, what a class act. I didn't say anything to Danny about my son. But led him to his achievements that he's got today. So congratulations. Good luck at Notre Dame. Okay, now the young ladies from Lyons Township High School cross country. 1 week before the state meet, the Lions won the first sectional title in program history, whereas the same team is the two-time defending regional champions. And whereas they are the first team to finish top 5 in the state of Illinois for 2 consecutive years. Whereas this is the third trophy in girls cross-country history since its inception in 1977. Whereas the Lions left Peoria on Saturday, November 4th, 2017, with a third-place trophy in state after tallying 184 points. And where it be it further resolved that the Village of the Grange Park urges our citizens to join us as we extend our sincere congratulations for a great team effort and to the girls cross country team of Lions Township High School. So congratulations, young ladies. I'd like to get a picture with all of you, but I want to introduce your coaches who certainly had a big part in guiding you and getting to where you young ladies were third in state. I've known Alex Lyons, Coach Lyons, for a long time. He ran with my son Jake at Lyons Township, and Coach Franson I met tonight. And what a tribute to those two young men, there you go, Coach Franson, young men, to guide you and to have such a great group that they are able to nurture and to show what they can do when they put their mind to it. So, coaches, would you please come up first? See, I'm terrible with names. So who would like to, Coach Lyons, would you care to say a few words?
So I also know Mr. DeCipio's son, Jake. He used to drive me to practices when I was a freshman in high school, and without me asking, he would bring me these brown paper bags filled with like snacks and lunches and stuff. And so I remember that it always was really cool for a person who understood the sport to take good care of you and to make sure that you kind of knew the sport. And these guys definitely do that for each other. So it's been a really cool season. I've been happy to be along for the ride. Thanks.
Thank you, Coach. Luke? Coach Franson? Boy, Coach Lyons has done a great job. So I'd like to, if we can get a picture with the group, maybe on the hallway, that would be wonderful. But if any of you would care to come up and say a few words? Leaders here, let's go. Someone.
This part could go on for weeks.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where I'd be without cross country. It has been an amazing 4 years, and of course I'd like to thank my coaches for always being by my side and being awesome coaches and an awesome team. Oh, so sorry. So thank you. And so happy. Okay. And I hope that this can be an inspiration to all. Thank you.
See, now you'll be better next time. So again, on behalf of the Village of LaGrange Park and the Board of Trustees and the administrative staff, we want to congratulate all of you on your great accomplishment. Continue on with your great work in athletics and also your studying habits and your academics. We're here to support you. If you guys ever need anything, just come around and ask us and we'll help you in anything we ever can. But thank you for representing our village too in such a manner that you are champions. So thank you. Exit left.
Our future, kid. Our future.
Okay, public participation. Would anyone care to address the board? Okay, if not, I'm going to ask We're going to move on to administration, and in absence of trustee Lautner, I've asked trustee Casera to do the report.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have, first, I have an action item for discussion and action this evening, and it's regarding proposed rooftop lease at 937 Barnesdale, New Line Network. For the past several months, the village has been in conversation with New Line Networks regarding leasing space on the village's water tower for the installation of satellite equipment. New Line Networks proposing to install 4 additional 36-inch diameter dishes. The dishes will be located on the north side of the water tower. The village has an existing lease with China Cat Productions for the 5 satellite dishes that are located on the south side of the water tower. The lease provisions prohibit the village from leasing space on the tower to another party who interferes with the transmission of China Cat's equipment. NLN and China Cat have been in conversations of the past several months and have established a private agreement outlining how the issue of equipment interference will be addressed. The proposed lease includes the following terms: a 2-year initial lease with 6 2-year options for renewal, monthly lease rate of $11,500, and an annual rate escalator of 3%. The proposed lease also includes language that indemnifies and holds harmless the village from any claims or damages that arise from interference created by NLN's equipment. Language requiring them to abide by the private agreement with China Cat is also included. The staff recommendation: both NLN and China Cat have reached an agreement regarding the issue of equipment interference. Village staff and the attorney have reviewed the proposed lease and have no concerns with the terms if the lease is approved. NLN will still be required to obtain building permits prior to installing the equipment. Staff recommends approving the lease. This item is both for discussion and action. This time we have a motion to approve an ordinance approving a rooftop lease for 937 Barnesdale Road between the New Line Networks LLC and the Village of LaGrange Park.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion, trustee Casera.
Thank you, Mr. President. We discussed this at our work session meeting, and with the concerns regarding the potential conflicts of I can't even talk tonight, of China Cat and NLN. Those concerns have been addressed. It's a good opportunity for us to receive additional revenue from the water towers. We've always had good experience with that.
Further discussion, anybody on the board care to make a comment? Okay, Amanda, call the roll.
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Casera?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Congratulations. Will, I'm sorry to ask, what the Youth Commission agree with the board?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, Public Works Committee, thank you, trustee Casera. Public Works, trustee Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. President. And 3 items tonight for discussion and action. First, the 2017-2018 tree trimming program. We need approval to pay Winkler's tree trimming for 2017-2018. The village had approved a contract extension with Winkler Tree Service at our July meeting. That contract amount was based on $47.28 per tree, with 832 trees being trimmed, totaling $39,336.96. One street was inadvertently missed when the trimming list was prepared. As a result, the correct number of trees trimmed came out to 981 at a cost of $47.28 per tree. That brings the total to $46,428.96. In the fiscal year, the village has budgeted in the Public Works Fund, trimming and removal 01-44-3-322, $55,000 for the village's annual tree trimming program. Staff recommends approval of payment of $46,428.96 to Winkler Tree Service for the trimming of 981 trees in the 2017-2018 tree trimming program. Therefore, make a motion to approve payment of $46,428.96 to Winkler Tree Trimming Service for the trimming of 981 trees in the 2017-2018 tree trimming program.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion, trustee Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sherwood was accidentally missed It's been corrected, and Winkler's, might I add, honored last year's prices along with this. So I definitely for this.
Any other comments from the board? Mr. Akins? Amanda, call the roll.
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Casera?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Next, Mr. President, the 2017-2018 road striping. Staff is seeking the board's approval to pay Superior Road Striping for the 2017-2018 road striping program. Superior Road Striping was the low bidder under the Suburban Joint Purchasing Program administered by the Northwest Municipal Conference. The amount of work in prior years has been under $10,000, so no contracts were presented to the village board. This year, we anticipated striping to be under $10,000, but some last-minute additions placed the quantities to the point that they exceeded the $10,000 limit by $235.68. As such, staff is seeking village board approval to pay for the striping. In this fiscal year, the village has budgeted $19,500 in the motor fuel tax fund for pay 403,345. Staff recommends approval of payment in the amount of $10,235.68 to Superior Road Striping. Therefore, Mr. President, I make a motion to approve payment of $10,235.68 to Superior Road Striping.
Second. Motion and a second. Discussion. Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. It's just over the threshold, but safety is very important to our our residents and people who pass through our town, so this has to be done.
Any other comments from the board? Mr. Akins? Amanda, call the roll.
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Casera?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Lastly, Mr. President, the 2017-2018 motor fuel tax general maintenance resolution. The purpose is to approve a resolution for maintenance of streets and highways by municipality under the Illinois Highway Code. The MFT motor fuel tax funds are used to perform maintenance-related activity in the street right-of-way. These activities include sidewalk replacement, street lighting, traffic control devices, pavement markings, snow and ice control, and crack sealing. The village must make a request for expenditures and have authorization for the use of MFT funds annually from IDOT. A resolution for maintenance of streets and highways by municipality under the Illinois Highway Code has been prepared, outlining the maintenance operations expenses. In this fiscal year, the village has budgeted in the MFT fund $261,000 for this work. Staff recommends approval of this resolution at tonight's meeting. Therefore, Mr. President, I make a motion approving a resolution for maintenance of streets and highways by municipality under the Illinois Highway Code for the expenditure of $261,000 in motor fuel tax funds.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Discussion. Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. It's an annual resolution that we have to do. So, we submit it to IDOT for our reimbursement and for it.
Any other comments from the board? Mr. Akins? Thank you. Amanda, call the roll.
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Casera?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
That concludes my reports tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Other reports, Village Manager, Julia?
Thank you, Mr. President and members of the board. I have 4 items to report this evening, 2 items that are reminders and 2 items of thanks. The 2 reminders are we have 2 upcoming meetings in January. We have a Sustainability Committee of the Board meeting on January 16th. And we also have an Engineering and Capital Projects meeting on parking scheduled for January 23rd. That is the evening of a board meeting, so that meeting will take place before the board meeting at 6 o'clock. 2 items of thanks. Last Friday, we had a tree lighting ceremony. We had our annual tree lighting at Memorial Park, and I think it's fair to say it was one of the most scenic, beautiful, and one of the most well-attended events that we've had to date since we've been doing this. And so we'd like to thank a number of people that helped contribute to the success of that evening. First and foremost, we'd like to thank staff who organized the event and made it possible. Thanks to Emily Rodman for organizing it and putting it all together. We'd also like to thank the Park Junior High Forte singers for providing such beautiful song to keep us engaged in the magic of the evening. Also, we'd like to thank Cub Scout Pack 66 for the presentation of the colors. Really brought quite a bit of formality and patriotism to the evening as well. So all in all, it was a beautiful evening. Thanks also to a couple of folks, Amanda Seidel, our clerk, who assisted with the hot chocolate, as well as our Public Works Director, Brenda McLaughlin, his wife Tracy, and son Jack, who also assisted with the hot chocolate. So thanks also to staff and members of the board and the village president for all attending that event. It was really a beautiful evening. We encourage folks to attend it in the future. The second item of thanks is regarding the community art unveiling, which took place earlier this evening here in our lobby at Village Hall. It was really, truly something to see. It was a part of our 125th anniversary celebration for this year. And it was one of the events that was coordinated by the anniversary committee, and in particular, the art subcommittee. So it's a beautiful piece. It's down here at Village Hall. It consists of a number of tiles, photographs of family and friends, members of the community, both past and present. And all of these tiles are anchored by 5 very beautiful mosaics that were put together by our local school districts and local schools. So I wanted to make sure that we provided thanks to those schools to participating in the mosaic, and that included Park, Forest, Park Junior High, St. Louis de Marillac, and Ogden School. These pieces that anchored the public art are truly magnificent, and it is something that we have to look forward to as village public servants for years to come, because it's right outside. So for those of you, I know that you saw the beauty in the project tonight, and for those of you that haven't seen it yet, we encourage you to come down to Village Hall and take a look. And thanks to everybody that contributed. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Julia. Village Clerk,
I have nothing to report, Mr. President.
CRC Committee, Trustee Casera.
Thank you, Mr. President. This evening, we have one item up for discussion and action. The general background: the village has been approached by SL Investments, LLC, its assignee, 1201 Barnesdale, LLC, and its manager, Dennis Sullivan, who is interested in purchasing 1201 North Barnesdale Road to develop and operate a storage facility. The company has the property under contract and is conducting its due diligence process. Due to existing site conditions and current building and life safety codes, the proposed use will require improvements to the existing building structure and environmental remediation at a significant expense. The buyer of the properties had advised village staff that SL Investments will need financial assistance from the village in order for the project to proceed due to the required improvements. Staff has consulted with the village's special TIF counsel, Kathleen Orr. The proposed infrastructure improvements are eligible costs under both the TIF and business development districts. If the village board is supportive of the incentivizing the project using TIF and or BDD dollars, it would be appropriate for the board to consider a resolution to induce the redevelopment of certain property within the 31st Street Barndale Tax Increment Redevelopment Project area. At the December 12th village board meeting, approval of this resolution would allow the buyer to incur costs which may be eligible for reimbursement in the event the village and buyer successfully negotiate a redevelopment agreement at a future date. The purpose of this resolution is to acknowledge the village's conceptual approval of the proposed project, noting that any financial assistance is specifically contingent upon the village approving and executing a redevelopment agreement with the buyer or successor or assignee of the buyer, which provides for the redevelopment of the subject property in accordance with the terms and conditions to be negotiated by the parties. Thus, because the village requires additional information to determine how much of an incentive would be appropriate, this resolution does not commit any amount to the buyer Rather, it simply commits the village to negotiate a redevelopment agreement in good faith. Per the direction of our attorney, the village, in contemplating that this incentive would be provided by reimbursement from Business Development District and/or TIF dollars once received by the village. Again, this item is both for discussion and action. This time, I'd like to make a motion to approve a resolution to induce the redevelopment of certain property within the 31st Street Barnesdale Tax Increment Redevelopment Project Area and Business District.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion, trustee Casera?
Thank you, Mr. President. And if I could, Assistant Village Manager Emily Rodman, a question, and I think just for clarification as to when we're looking at a resolution to induce the redevelopment of certain property, and we look at the motion, what exactly is that committing us as a board to, or the village?
I can start off answering that. Trustee Crucera and Emily can chime in, as well as our village attorney Keating. The inducement resolution is really just a commitment to negotiate in good faith. It doesn't obligate the village to provide any incentive. It just provides some assurance that we will move forward in talking with this particular interested buyer regarding an incentive that might be workable for both parties, but it does not obligate us in any way to any amount of money, just to negotiate in good faith.
Thank you.
That's correct. I agree.
Okay. Second time in 3 months, I think we have an opportunity to look at another business moving into town and investing in purchase of a property. And when we look at this property, it is not a retail piece, but it's along a commercial district that we've long talked about. I look at two different things, and I'm very much looking for additional input from the other trustees. The first piece is we have somebody coming in, buying a building. They're looking to improve it. They're looking to keep the integrity of the building. I guess when I mean integrity, the styling or architectural features. It's a business that does not bring any noise problems, any pollution problems, anything along those lines. At the second time, or at the second arena, I look and say, is this the highest and best use for that piece of property, and in the best interest of all the stakeholders in the village? So those are two thoughts that I'd have that I'd really look forward to further discussion with the village board this evening.
Thank you,
Mr.
trustee
President.
Casera. Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate looking at LaGrange Park to possibly develop a business. I look at this kind of echoing Trustee Kuchera's concern about the shareholders, stakeholders in the village. I was reading this tonight, and there's such a saturation of the communities around here that I can think of probably 5 or 6 storage places around that are in close proximity. And as far as committing TIF dollars, and this to me would be a place where somebody would drop something off and leave, maybe not stay in LaGrange Park, or shop in LaGrange Park, even after 31st Street or LaGrange Road is developed. So that would be my concern, Mr. President, committing TIF dollars to something that doesn't bring in sales tax and a business that, to me, the area seems saturated, in my opinion. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, trustee Sheehan. Trustee Messick?
Thank you, Mr. President. My feelings are pretty similar. I mean, what are the benefits of this type of business? Beyond property tax, and we're gonna be withholding taxes from certain taxing bodies in a TIF. Is this going to be long term? How is this? How much more is this going to help? It's an approved use. It's a good use, but is it the highest and best use? And at this point, I mean, I don't know what other income or revenue it's going to draw into the village, or what other kind of businesses it's going to draw around it. So I don't see it as the highest and best use.
Trustee Zora?
Thank you, Mr. President. I guess my question, to reiterate what Trustee Kucera said, this doesn't commit us to anything besides reviewing this with Kathleen Orr, correct? I mean, if we move forward with this, we're not obligated to do anything besides look into this.
That's correct. I mean, what we would do is we would work with the applicant to gain a better understanding of what it is that they're trying to do with the site, what type of incentive that they are looking at. A couple of points of clarification I would make is that in our conversation with the requestor, they did indicate that they would like to include a retail component with the mini storage use, similar to what other mini storage facilities throughout the area have. So many times when people go to rent a mini storage, they go into a retail site, they pay for their unit within a small store. They also have an opportunity to purchase boxes, blankets, tape, scissors, that type of thing. So that is something that they would like to include and would like to pursue. And while our zoning code does allow for mini storage in the industrial area in that particular zoning district, it does not currently allow for an accessory retail use within there. So along with a mini storage use. So there would have to be a text amendment to allow for a store to be located along with the mini storage use. So there would have to be a text amendment. But that particular request or desire to include the store with the mini storage unit is the reason why they have requested that we consider an inducement resolution for both TIF dollars as well as business district dollars, because the revenue that might be gained through a retail use would be come back to them in the form, or some portion of it would come back to them in the form of an incentive. Regarding best use, the location, the district is an industrial park. We did have some conversation as staff about what is the best use for that particular area. And other types of uses would be things like distribution centers, as well as industry or manufacturing. One of the, there's pluses and minuses with all types of uses, but one of the things about the mini storage, you won't get several employees coming into the area like you would with a distribution facility or a manufacturing facility, but the likelihood of large semi-trucks coming into the area down Barnesdale Road would be less likely because of the mini storage. It wouldn't have the same levels of traffic with regard to semi-trucks to that particular area as it would for a distribution center or a manufacturing plant. So that was just one of the considerations that we talked about as staff. But back to your point, right, it doesn't obligate, the inducement resolution doesn't obligate us to anything, and we can certainly consider the desirability of the use as we continue discussions with them.
I did have another question too, if village staff could provide me with an answer, or maybe the petitioner, because I'm assuming you're the petitioner over there?
The attorney.
Oh, the attorney, okay. What is the state of the building now? I mean, is it structurally sound? I mean, is it, I guess, what's the condition of the building?
Let me introduce you first, Mr. Tim. Before we get on, Mr. Foley is with Finaro Group. as
Okay.
you're well aware. So he is representing the client. So, Mr. Foley,
I have it. It is a vacant property. There was an initial environmental report indicating that there is asbestos in the property, in particular in the current office and the men's room. There's significant asbestos.
Is it, but was the structure of the building okay? I mean, it said roof replacement, but,
Well, that's right. So the structure itself is sound. That's why they
okay.
maintain the integrity of the building.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Foley.
And I guess I echo the other trustees. I mean, I'm definitely for the redevelopment of the community and enhancing the existing buildings that need assistance. I mean, I would be interested in moving forward with this because we don't have an obligation to go any further than that for right now. So that's where I'm at.
Okay, Mr. Akins? Thank you. Thank you for coming tonight, Mr. Foley, and representing your client. I like the idea. You know, I think that we're going to have more traffic for people that are utilizing the storage down 31st Street, and once we redevelop that to its max, it's going to create exposure for our community. I don't think we're looking at any retail down there that's going to draw traffic down in that area. So I agree with the board. I think we should look at and go forward with this and see what staff can come up with. So Amanda, will you call the roll?
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
No.
Trustee Kucera?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-1.
Thank you, Mr. Foley. Okay, I have a couple things. One, again, Julia made all the kudos on the tile project and what it looks like out there. And it was just phenomenal, the unveiling and the work that these kids went into putting those tiles together and making it look professional. It's really a nice idea. And I think we're going to see more people coming in wanting to put pictures up. So it's something for Public Works to look at. The Chamber Christmas party on Saturday went great. Julia, Emily, myself, Scott were there serving chili. It was a great event, a lot of kids. And then also on Thursday night, there was a recognition that we received. I was unable to attend, so Trustee Messick and Julia both represented our village. And from hearing through the grapevine, they don't need me anymore. But anyway, we received an award. And it's congratulations to the Village of LaGrange Park on 125 years of service and leadership in the region from the West Suburban Chamber of Commerce and Industry. So everyone in the audience. But what a nice award, nice of them to recognize this. And I believe that our mission earlier in the year when Susie came on was to create more exposure and to become more involved, and that's certainly what she has done. And this shows to that. So kudos to the village, and thank you, Julia and Trustee Messick, for representing our village. Any new business? Okay, on behalf of the board and the administrative staff, I wish the community happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. And Mr. Akins, thank you for representing the Youth Commission so well, and I hope you have a nice holiday season. And also, Dan and Eric, I want to thank you for the year of your providing service to us and the great job that you do in photographing us and putting us on TV in such a great manner. So thank you. I hope you guys have a great holiday. And if there isn't any other comments from the board, who wants to say Merry Christmas?
Happy holidays.
There we go. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.